Hi friends, and welcome back to playing tribute to Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, where we have taken to the courts. We're actually on a bit of a roll. I think that we're actually making some progress here. We're gonna talk to Maya and see if she can channel the spirit of the dead. See if she did channel the spirit of Inga. We're not actually going to have her channel a spirit this time, I don't think. Because that wouldn't make any sense, because he's face blind. He can't distinguish faces, so he wouldn't know who killed him. The divination seance didn't tell as much. But yeah, we're gonna see if Maya really did channel him that night and was really or that afternoon, and it actually was a dead man walking that they saw. In the meanwhile, the queen has put on her evil attire. If that doesn't scream evil to you, I don't know what does. And Nayuda is just kind of standing by as prosecutor, as somewhat, like, I don't know, it's very weird. It's Apollo and Phoenix working together, and then it's the queen, and then Nayuda's just kind of there to, quote-unquote, watch how it's done, basically, according to the queen. So, I don't know what shenanigans and craziness that's about to be pulled, because there's definitely something going on with Nayuda, as we have determined with Dirk. So, we'll see what's going on. Let's get right to it, shall we? I don't even know whether Maya can leave the hospital at this point, actually. Hadn't she, like, not woken up? Talk about some really close shaves. It's par for the course for us. Well, you can't get a closer shave than Headsman brand blades, that's for sure. The trial's not even over yet, and I'm already exhausted. Still, you were able to fight back the queen herself in there. Well, maybe with Miss Faye's help, I won't have to keep on playing her game much longer. Speaking of which, I guess it's a little late to be asking, but do you think she's well enough to testify, Mr. Wright? She slept all day yesterday out of exhaustion, apparently. But that's all it was, so she should be okay. Barbed head. Horned head. Oh, hello, Your Benevolence. Princess Rayfa. You're really impressive in there. Yes, and Princess Rayfa finally stood up against her mother.
I am the royal priestess Rayfa Padma Kurain. And I am prepared to face my father's death.
Despite your mother's opposition, you stood your ground. And in doing so, you fulfilled your duty as the royal priestess. It was all thanks to you and your friends. Your belief in me gave me the courage to follow my path. So, you have my gratitude. Oh, don't mention it. I know. I shall thank you with a gift. Oh, I know. I shall thank you with a gift. What would you like? A cow? A horse? Or perhaps I shall reward your efforts with a royal shoulder massage. Oh, that's okay, Your Benevolence. Your gratitude is more than enough. Thanks. But I thought you Americans liked massages. My technique was highly praised by my father, I'll have you know. Hey you, lawyers! Where's the accused? Huh? Dirk? That's a good question. Dads, what did you do? I blew it big time, AJ. Dads? Shut up, you. What's going on? This scoundrel tried to escape with the accused. Dads, please stop getting into trouble. We're in trouble enough as it is. What? You were able to nab him, but the accused is nowhere to be found. Where are you hiding him, you miscreant? I keep telling you I got no idea where he went. I mean, yeah, we booked it together, but I lost track of him after that. So Dirk's on the lam now? Probably, but who knows? He vanished in the blink of an eye. Vanished? You want to know something, AJ? Dirk said to me, I can't put Amara in danger. I have to set her free before it's too late. What? Don't tell me he's gone to rescue her. But that's what I am telling you. It's why I helped him escape in the first place. Dats, do you realize what you've done? Well, what's done is done. No, he never does realize what he's done. This guy. Still, why do you choose to go rescue her now? Maybe he didn't want to die with any regrets or something. You know, just in case he ended up in the chopping block. Why, Dirk? I thought you believed in me. Aw, don't be like that, AJ. He'll be back as soon as he frees Amara. You'll see. It's not the point, Dats. Listen, lawyer. You let us know immediately if the accused contacts you. The trial will now resume. See that you are ready. Wait, the trial's still on, even without the defendant? Those were Her Eminence's orders, so you will return to the courtroom at once. Let's go, Apollo. All we can do is see where the next testimony leads. Well, that's concerning. Dats, come on, man. He's comparable to Larry at this point. Just, instead of a magnet for trouble, he just seeks it out. He seeks out trouble. And he finds it very easily. Whereas Larry just is unlucky. Now then, let us resume the trial at hand. Your Majesty, my client seems to have gone missing. What do you think, Your Eminence? Should we proceed without the accused? Why not? My royal guard is searching for him as we speak. They shall find him soon enough, for they would not dare keep me waiting. Yes, but what about the law governing court proceedings? She's going to change the law again. Then I shall simply revise it. As ruling sovereign of Karain, I proclaim the following. Should the accused be an enemy of the crown, they may be tried in absentia. Well, in that case, I guess there's no problem with proceeding. Will the witness, Miss Maya Fey, please approach the stand? Sorry to summon you like this, Maya. Getting dragged out of bed and into court is not exactly a fun wake-up call, Nick. I'm sorry, Miss Fey. It was my idea. And you are? They've never met. Oh my gosh. Oh, right. I'm Apollo Justice. It's nice to finally meet you. Oh, so you're Apollo. Nick's told me all about you. You're the new guy with a loud voice and a bit of an unreliable streak, right? Unreliable? Well, that was 2 years ago. You've come a long way since. Unreliable? I won all of my cases in that game. Thank you very much. So, why was I called here anyway? I love her theme playing in the background. Nostalgia. Am I under arrest again? Knowing Maya, it's a fair question. Huh? I guess no one's filled her in. Well, she has been asleep this entire time. Miss Fey, this is a trial for Dirk Sadmati, and you're here as a witness. What? Dirk's been arrested? But... It's not exactly the reaction I was expecting. Miss Fey, you are suspected of playing a part in the murder of Justice Minister Inga. What? Someone allegedly forced you to channel the minister to obfuscate the time of his murder. At least that is what the defense claims. Wait, what? How could you, Apollo? How did you even reach that conclusion? Sorry, but it's the only way this whole case makes any sense. Your understandable anger at the defense aside, will you testify, Miss Fey? Gee, thanks, Your Honor. Yes, Your Majesty. Poor Maya's seen more courtrooms than, like, channeling schools at this point. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I know I didn't channel Minister Inga. I didn't even have the chance to do something like that. Besides, I'd never go quietly along with some criminal's plan. Though I guess there are some things I'd go quietly along with. What was that? It seems the witness doesn't believe she has ever channeled Justice Minister Inga. And if her words prove to be true defense, your entire argument becomes moot. You do understand that, don't you? Yes, of course. It doesn't seem like Miss Faye is lying. Apollo. Maya was being awfully secretive about something just now. And I guess I better dig a bit and try to get her to open up to me first. Up to me first. I don't know why I said be like that. Inflection! Okay. Yeah, you're being vague and secretive and weird. Press everything?
Hold it!
You've been asleep ever since you were rescued from the tomb, correct? I was exhausted after being held captive for so long. That must have been terrible. Maya, Minister Inga didn't do anything to you, did he? Oh, no, it wasn't like that. On the contrary, I asked him for all sorts of things. Like what? Like, I'm really craving burgers, and I'll die if I miss an episode of The Plumed Punisher. Acting like a brat nettled me a TV and even a few burgers from someplace. He was surprisingly nice to me. Huh? Are you sure we're talking about the same guy here? He may have loomed large, but he was unexpectedly easy to push around. Even though he's the one who was responsible for pushing those execution papers through. Oh, that, approving execution, was simply his preferred method of stress relief. Wow. With a wife like that, he was probably really pushing them through out of fear. I'm beginning to see why he wanted to stage a coup. In any case, my time in captivity wasn't so bad. But of all the things that happened, didn't she say that Dirk saved her?
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? Maybe you just don't remember channeling him. Don't remember? I may be 28, but I'm not senile, you know. Something's not right here. Miss Faye, you were confined to Amara's tomb the whole time. Is that correct? Yes, but I wasn't conscious the whole time. Okay, then let me ask you something. Did you ever see Nena in the tomb? Dressed as Dirk? Huh? Is this some kind of a joke? I think I'd remember if I saw something as crazy as that. Plus, I doubt anyone would carry out a crime like that right in front of a potential witness. I hate when he's right.
Hold it!
What do you mean you didn't have a chance? You didn't have a chance to channel him? Does channeling someone take a long time? Not really. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty much instantaneous. But I was all tied up, literally. So there was no way for me to make the channeling mudra with my hands to do it. Right. I guess she really didn't channel Inga then. Maya, when mediums are done with a session, they can send the spirit back to the other world themselves, right? Sure, unless they're still in training. Amateurs can get possessed by spirits sometimes. But full-fledged mediums can stay in total control of a session. And they can send the deceased spirit away anytime they want. So I take it you can do that too, Miss Faye. Of course! It's a cinch for the new and improved mystic Maya Faye, a spirit medium. That's strange, you seem like the same old childish Maya to me. I'll show you childish, Nick.
Hold it!
So you wouldn't channel spirits for unseemly purposes? Of course not! Spirit channeling is my bread and butter. And I take a lot of pride in my work. It's like, would you use your legal skills to commit a crime, Apollo? Well, until figure pointing and objecting become deadly, I don't see how they can be used. Wow, you're regular Mr. Smarty Pants, just like Nick. Always at the ready with some sarcastic comeback. I think I'll save my many objections for after the trial. Yes, please. Anyway, I'd never go along with something like murder. Yeah, this is the line that got me. What? It sounds to me like you're trying to hide something, Miss Faye. Didn't anyone teach you about respecting boundaries, Apollo? It's really rude to pry into a person's private affairs. Sorry, I didn't realize, Wait, we're in a court of law. Yeah, I know. Then what was all that about me being rude? I'm just doing my job. So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say. You made a promise to Dirk? Mm-hmm. A pretty big one. I think it's about all you're going to get out of her. Yeah. Enough! The witness is denying that she channeled any spirits, so further questioning is pointless. It appears your little fiction has been soundly exposed for what it is. She didn't deny channeling any spirit. She denied channeling Inga. I don't think that matters, but I'm just saying. You should listen to her, Apollo. I don't even know why you suspected me in the first place. I mean, you don't have any evidence of me channeling Minister Inga, do you? Oh, evidence, huh? There's no point in even thinking about it, really. I don't use anything special to channel spirits, so there wouldn't be anything left behind. That's true. Just like when she channeled the High Priest, all Maya needs is her own body. If the defense has no evidence to offer, I will have to end this cross-examination. Her own body. All of the things we found there are those three things. What now? Even if she doesn't use any special items to do the channeling itself, you'd think there would be something to complete this deception. Always go through with it. You bet there is. Really? Well, no. You're bluffing, I dig it. I'll be fine! If we are right, then there must be some sort of proof to back us up. Is it the button? Time to do some serious thinking, Apollo Justice. Okay, we know that when Rafa saw her father, he wasn't dressed like Miss Faye, right? It is the button. Right, because if he was, Rafa would have immediately known he was being channeled. So that means he was dressed in his usual suit when Rafa saw him. Did she burn the clothes? Is that why it's covered in soot? Good thinking, Apollo. This might be the perfect angle to attack from. Alright, let's have an answer from the defense. What proof do you have that Miss Maya Faye channeled Justice Minister Inga? I was wondering about this button because I was like, was he missing a button? They never said anything about him missing a button. Is that a gemstone? We found this among the ashes of one of the tomb's incense burners. Does this gemstone ring any bells, Your Eminence? What? What was that doing in the tomb? Ah, so you do recognize it. But then as his wife, how could you not recognize the gemstone button from your husband's jacket? I don't get where you're going with this. Channeling Minister Inga alone wouldn't be enough to fool someone like Princess Rafa. Especially if you were wearing your clothes. So you would have had to change into the minister's clothes before channeling him. Ah! Miss Faye, you used the minister's clothes as cover while going from his room to the tomb, where you burned them once you no longer needed them. What? Uh-oh. She seems genuinely surprised by that, Apollo.
Objection!
Miss Faye. Yes? Do you know my husband's name? It was, Inga Karkul Karain, right? That is correct, in part, but there's more. Much more. Inga Karkul, how could this name be any more... What is it? How could this name be any longer? Hold on. Inga Karkul, how could this name be any longer or more pompous than it already is? Okay, I'll give it that. Karain the Third. Okay, your pun names are very, very crazy, but I will give you that one. That was just ridiculous. And it knows it. That is his true name. Could it be any longer? Due to its length, only a portion of it was ever made public. So, Miss Faye, did you know his true name? No, I mean, how could I? Precisely. Yet a medium must know both face and true name of the one she seeks to channel. So then, Miss Faye couldn't have channeled Minister Inga. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Why would I want to randomly channel some old guy I didn't know? I didn't like, thanks to that last trial. I can believe this. I can't believe this. Apollo, I really don't think Maya's lying. However, your line of reasoning still seems credible to me. I agree, but there's something tripping us up on the... There's something tripping us up on the details. I was right the first time. Maybe we're working off some wrong assumption again. So if Maya didn't channel him, and the Queen didn't channel him, is Queen Amara running around? Because she could have... Like, it's a royal ability, right? So is Queen Amara... Do I have her profile? I don't have her profile. Huh. Apollo? I was thinking. Yeah? Since I didn't channel Minister Inga, is it possible for that someone else did? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Let me look at that picture, though. Because this was going on at the same time. Someone else? But who else could it have been? I haven't thought of that far yet. Such chatter is without merit. Let us move on, shall we? I don't care what Garand says. I'm going to figure this out. If it wasn't Miss Faye, and the Queen has an alibi, then... Apollo, forget about who is capable of channeling spirits for a second. I should consider the circumstances around the channeling, right? Right. We know Rafa saw her father come running out of his private quarters. If he was being channeled at the time, who could it have been? Had to have been someone who was in Inga's private quarters. Well, I'm waiting defense, and you know how much I despise waiting. Yes, but there is someone else besides Miss Faye who could have channeled the Minister Inga. There's just one more person, and they were in Inga's private quarters. That person is our only hope now. So the defense believes there was another. Let's have your very serious answer then. With pleasure. Horned devil. Who could have channeled Minister Inga? I think they're egging me on towards Nena. She did disappear.
Take that!
Nena? Your Eminence said it yourself. Never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters. So she went in, but she never came out. And then there's her benevolence statement. She said that Nena disappeared right after she entered Minister Inga's private quarters. The room from which Minister Inga himself came running out of not long afterwards. You are not seriously suggesting. It's the only thing that makes sense. Nena channeled Minister Inga and left his private quarters thereafter. That's why no one has seen her since. And why only the minister's shoe prints are found outside his residence. Ah! No way! That's got to be it. Nena must have somehow channeled the minister. All of the circumstantial evidence has fallen into place. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't claim that Nena isn't connected to this case somehow. In light of this, the defense calls Nena to the stand. Well, Your Eminence. Very well, then. Let us call Nena to testify. Yes! Now we can finally crack this case wide open. Let us adjourn while the witness is summoned. There's no need. Nena's in the waiting lobby. What? Nena's here? I thought she'd gone missing. That was my what, but it was apparently also his what, so I just went with it. It seems she was feeling unwell and simply wished to rest undisturbed. But her concern for Rafa brought her here today. She took time off without Rafa's knowledge or consent? I'm betting there's more to her disappearing act than meets the eye, Apollo. Miss Nena, do you understand why you've been summoned here today? Yes, of course. Her Eminence has informed me that this man here suspects I have committed a crime. So this is Nena. That's quite the hairdo. Though I will say. I suppose I'm not as old as I had thought. If this hornhead nincompoop would take me for a criminal. What's with these people and calling me nincompoops? Nincompoop. I guess that's where Rafa gets it. Isn't that Rafa's favorite insult? Or maybe she got it from Rafa. I guess Nena rubbed off on her. What with all this time they spent together. You there, young hornhead. Yes? You are accusing me of slaying Minister Inga and channeling his spirit, yes? What an active imagination you have. Young folk are so wonderfully open-minded. Uh-huh. Thanks. Just take the compliment, Justice. Now then, will the witness please proceed with her testimony? This court wishes to know if you did or did not channel Minister Inga in the private quarters. That is quite the hairdo. She could hide something in there. I'm no spirit medium, Sonny. I was feeling under the weather yesterday and decided to rest these weary bones. Besides which, a lowly servant such as I could not possibly be an honorable spirit medium. Only members of the royal family can learn the art of spirit channeling here in Kirain. After Queen Amara's passing, Her Eminence, Queen Garan, is the only spirit medium left. If you believe a medium to be the culprit, it would have to be that young lass, Maya Fey. And there you have it. It seems we have summoned her for nothing. Only those of the royal bloodline have the power of spirit channeling. That a servant such as Nena could channel spirits is a most unamusing jest. On the surface, anyway. But our line of reasoning has led us to this end. That Nena channeling a spirit. All right, the defense may now question the witness. Where did you rest the weary bones? Albie's dog stole your hat when you were in the courtyard yesterday afternoon. Was it after that you decided to take a rest? I had been feeling unwell all day and had pushed myself too hard. I kept feeling weak and dizzy, and that dirty mongrel only served to worsen my condition. Well, I sympathize with you, Nena. You took the whole day off without informing Princess Rafa. She was very worried about you, you know. How very kind of her benevolence. But she need not concern herself with the welfare of a mere servant such as I. Except to Rafa, Nena's not just a mere servant. To even think a mere commoner could channel spirits or slay minister. What hogwash.
Hold it!
I hear you are the head servant, isn't that right? Are you suggesting that my position affords me the ability to channel spirits? Since you're the head servant to a family of channelers, I'd say it's plausible. If you wanted to, it's not impossible for you to learn through exposure. I think not. For that goes against the very underpinnings of the kingdom of Kirain. To become a spirit medium requires a noble spirit and rigorous training. But most importantly, one must be a direct descendant of the founder. It's not simply some hobby one can take up in the manner of knitting or gardening. So commoners could never become a medium, no matter how hard they tried. That is common knowledge to all who are born and raised here, young Hornhead.
Hold it!
Okay then, what if you actually have royal blood in your veins, Nena? Like a distant relative or something? I am from a line of humble fishermen, all the way back to my grandfather's grandfather. I've never heard talk of royal blood or noble ancestry. Apollo, if spirit channeling is a secret art passed down from mother to daughter, then even with a royal ancestor, it'd be impossible to learn without the right training. It is as the Barbed One says, it also must be mentioned that the secret art is only taught here in the kingdom of Kirain and your country's Kirain village. Why aren't things falling into place like I expected? I would ask the witness to continue her testimony.
Hold it!
Queen Amara was the victim of an assassination, right? Yes. Oh, she was a beautiful, gentle soul. But she fell in love with a man of dubious origins. And was murdered in a terrible blaze. Fate can be so cruel. Except she's actually still alive. Poor Nena's yet another follower unwittingly praying over an empty sarcophagus. Amara, the queen who's been locked away and her existence in this world erased. But the fact that she is still alive shackles Nayuda to Garan's will. Nayuda, the only reason you're still standing there by that woman's side is because you're afraid of what would happen to Amara otherwise, right? We need not recount such ancient history. Let us continue with the witness's testimony. Yeah, ancient. Sure.
Hold it!
Miss Faye was being held hostage. She was completely tied up and didn't even know Minister Inga's true name, making it impossible for her to kill or channel him. Ah, I know nothing of that.
Objection!
Listen, you horned devil. Were you not just insisting that it was Maya Fey who had channeled Minister Inga? My, how quickly you changed your tune. No, I'm just quick on my feet when new information presents itself. I'm also quick to force my biggest smile when times like this demand it. It's great that you're following my advice, Apollo. But try not to look so forced when you do, would you? Nina is right about one thing, though. Only those of royal bloodline can be spirit mediums in Kurain. Common folk like us are out of luck. Yeah, I guess so. Still. I think I'll finally be close to connecting all the dots once I point one very big thing out.
Objection!
Okay, I was like, do I present the fact that she's alive? Am I going there? I guess I'm going there. Ah, strap in, guys. Okay, so I presented what makes sense in terms of direct contradiction. Except I don't know how to make it make sense in the larger context of this case. Well, is the defense going to follow up its loud objection with a sound explanation? Oh, sorry. How do I put this? I believe there's a problem with Nina's testimony. Go on. She asserted that she could not possibly be a spirit medium because in Kurain, only members of the royal family can learn how to channel spirits. I fail to see the problem in that statement, defense. Hold on, I'm getting to it, Your Majesty. Nina stated an absolute falsehood. Since we know that Amara is still alive. At the same time, circumstantial evidence points to Nina channeling Inga. After all, just after she entered his private quarters. Inga came running out screaming despite having been killed at 2 p.m. That would mean that Nina channeled Inga. Even though supposedly only those of the royal family are capable of doing so. Wait. Is it too late to ask for a refund on my trip down the rabbit hole? I think Apollo is starting to come to the same conclusion that I did whenever we were talking about Nina possibly being the one who channeled her. Or him, sorry. Mr. Wright, you may think I've lost my mind with this bluff, but if I can at least establish the possibility, I think it'll give us the break we need. Wait a sec. Are you going to propose what I think you are? Yes. It's a huge risk, but I think there's a chance I can prove it. Will the court please take a look at this photo? This photo's very existence, to say nothing of the person in it, contradicts the witness's claim. The Queen Garan is the only remaining spirit medium in Kurain. Horned devil, you mustn't! Oh, but I must. Under these circumstances, the outcome of this trial depends on it. But you already knew that, didn't you, Your Eminence? Will the defense please explain who is shown in the photograph? The person in this photo is the previous queen, Amara Sigatar Kurain. Contrary to popular belief, she was never assassinated. In fact, she is very much alive. What? But that's nonsense! Take a good look at the law book in this photo, Your Majesty. The mark of the dragon branded on it could only have been placed there after Queen Amara's supposed assassination. Queen Amara is still alive? Has the lawyer gone mad? Well, I personally find it hard to believe. I will allow the defense to continue. You may proceed, defense. Queen Amara's death was staged to keep her safe from her would-be killer. Yet according to Dirk, she's actually being held captive somewhere. But the real truth is that Queen Amara is not being held in confinement. Rather, she walks freely among us. Here in this very courtroom today. But how? I mean, he would know, right? Is that why he's jumping in? Do not be deceived, Your Majesty. The Red Pepper is skilled at weaving plausible lies. It is the cunning lawyerly art known as bluffing. But knowing this, there is no need to fear his forked tongue.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong, prosecutor. Because you'll be quaking in your boots soon enough. Is that so? It's my turn, Nayuda, to wake you up to the truth right before your eyes. Queen Amara is still very much alive and has been disguising herself.
Take that!
But that's... Eek! This is the simplest and cleanest explanation for everything we've covered so far. The person who killed Minister Inga. Someone with intimate knowledge of the divination seance. The medium who channeled the minister in order to mask the real time of his death. Condense these traits to one person, and you get a spirit medium of royal blood. And that person is none other than you, Nayna. Your true identity is the former Queen Amara and the killer we've been looking for all along. What?
Objection!
Have you finally lost your mind, Mr. Justice? What do you say is beyond blasphemous, even in the depths? Oh my, such frightening allegations. Indeed, and absolutely ludicrous to boot. Her Eminence, Queen Amara, yet lives, and is actually Miss Nayna here? You have truly gone off the deep end. You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, a certain someone can help me prove it. Your Eminence. If Queen Amara truly is dead, you should be able to channel her spirit right here, right now. Isn't that correct? That's one way to get the proof. I can deny it no longer. The lawyer speaks the truth. Nayna, the woman who stands here before us. Is Amara, the former queen, believed to have perished 23 years ago? Pukunka! Finally. We finally got Inga's real killer on the stand. Nayna, no. Amara Sigatar Kurain. Please drop the act and tell us what really happened. Oh, dearie me. I guess I shouldn't have underestimated the power of youth. Well done, young Hornhead. transformation. Whoa. I was getting tired of masquerading as an old woman anyway. She does the same little hand thing as Nayuta does. It has been far too long since I last greeted you, good people of Kurain. It is I, Amara Sigatar Kurain, your former queen. I do not understand this woman. Queen Amara? What? Yep, Nayuta didn't know. Interesting. Okay. And I thought Garan's makeover was extreme. Can it really be true? You are alive and well. It is true. I feel as if I have been called back from the Twilight Realm. I fear I have caused all of you a great deal of distress. Oh. What is this? Oh boy. Amara, I'm sorry I was unable to keep your secret any longer. I hope you can forgive me. It is quite all right, Garan. I am safe now. For Dirk, that blackguard who threatened my life will be recaptured soon enough. So she does still believe that Dirk tried to kill her. Okay. Unless she's putting on the act. I need not conceal my identity any longer. She might be putting on an act. Queen Amara, what does this all mean? Were you not killed in that fire 23 years ago? I barely escaped that blaze with my life. But though I survived, I knew that scoundrel would make further attempts on my life. Therefore, I staged my death and abdicated the throne to my dear younger sister Garan. But the building of that great tomb, and disguising yourself as a lowly servant, why would you do such a thing? Garan, I would have you explain. I wished for her to be close at hand. It was the only way I felt I could protect her. And it was the best way to hide her from the eyes of the public. After all, who could conceive of Amara lowering her station to that of a servant? She's got that right. Even Dirk thought Amara was being held captive in some far-off place. He never even guessed she was living as a servant right in the plain sight. I must say, a life dedicated to the servitude of others is not the least bit disagreeable. It is a quiet, humble existence, far removed from the tedium of regal duties. Ah, but those days of peace have ended. What is on that? Oh, it's her sister, I think. It's all because of you, Hornhead. You should consider yourself lucky if that's all this ends with. Is there something you wish to say? If there's something you wish to say, then say it. It doesn't matter who you are, you won't escape the crime you committed. The defense moves to indict you as Justice Minister Inga's real killer. What's this? You would accuse Queen Amara of homicide? A Grand Priestess of Kurainism? You can't do that. She's virtually a goddess in the eyes of her people. If you commit the crime, you'd better be ready to do the time. Be you a priest, saint, queen, or god. I've never met such an egalitarian person. Queen Amara, in your years disguised as Nena, you would have learned about Minister Inga's disorder. So you knew you could dress in Dirk's clothes to forge convincing seance vision. Isn't that right? Oh, what a curious character you are. You would label me a murderer. Me, the one who the people regarded as the reincarnation of the Holy Mother herself. You may be a grand figure in Kurainism, but as a foreigner, you're just another suspect to me. Fair enough. It would appear your words are not in jest. Am I to suffer the sullying of my good name with accusations of murder most foul? Please, Queen Amara, forgive his impudence. The lawyer knows not what he speaks. Fear not, good magistrate, for this is the sacred hall of justice. Though I am Grand Priestess on this stand, I am but a witness like any other. I shall face his accusations with grace and benevolence. Your compassion overfloweth, your mercifulness. Oh, young lawyer. In my benevolence, I must warn you that your assertion suffers from a tragic flaw. Huh? There's a flaw? Nayuta. Yes, your mercifulness. Who was present in the tomb when the murder was discovered? Dirk Sudmati, Maya Fey, and the victim, Minister Inga. I see. That is a fatal flaw indeed. It appears Queen Amara couldn't possibly have gone to that tomb as Minister Inga. What? Why not? Do not keep the defense waiting, Nayuta. Explain how wrong he truly is. Yes, your mercifulness. Her benevolence, Princess Rayfa, saw Minister Inga enter the tomb around 2:30 p.m. Yet you, the defense, claimed the person she saw was the minister being channeled by Queen Amara. However, her mercifulness had channeled him and moved to the tomb. Then once she was done channeling, Queen Amara would have re-emerged and been left stuck in the tomb. Oh, yeah. Again, the sarcophagus. Is anyone... She was hiding... Had she tried to exit before you all arrived? Princess Rayfa, who had been looking down upon the courtyard, would have seen her. However, her benevolence saw nothing of the sort. Ugh. In conclusion, Queen Amara could not have left the tomb without being observed. And yet, was she there in the tomb when the murder was discovered, defense? Sarcophagus. She was in the sarcophagus. No, she wasn't. Now do you see? Your flimsy claim has been uprooted like a sapling in a flood. Well, that was entertaining, Prosecutor Sudmati. Assume the prosecution of this case and clear your mother's good name. You wish for me to take over? Yes, prosecute your father and save your mother. What a poignant fate you bear. But bear it you must. Are you ready? Yes, Your Eminence. This is bad. And there you have it, Your Majesty. I shall watch the rest of the proceedings from the sidelines. I relinquish complete control of this sacred hall to your authority once more. Why, thank you, Your Eminence. Now then, your mercifulness. Your testimony, if you please. Now, I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Sudmati for his crimes. Oh, such marvelous testimony. You are truly a treasure, Your mercifulness. This, too, is but by the grace of Her Holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was her will as well. Oh, the Holy Mother, you say? Yes, surely Her Holiness has guided me to this witness stand. Oh, man. To the purity of truth. What? Is that a tiger? The tiger seems a little out of place. Oh, how magnificent. Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger here on earth. Praise be for Queen Amara. Blessings, blessings upon her mercifulness. Where did those animals even come from? Now then, the defense may question the witness. But remember, she is a Grand Priestess, so disrespect will not be tolerated. That means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any flaws in her testimony. That's kind of what my job is, though. I still think that somebody was hiding in that sarcophagus.
Hold it!
Well, maybe you were hiding inside the sarcophagus. Thank you, Apollo. After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you'd have no trouble opening it. If I had been in there, I could not be in here today. For the tomb had been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave. I guess not. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyway? You're still alive, so... There is despair, sadness, hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within. Could discover the final hope, my continued corporeality. You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty. But no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse. Now, will you dispense with your theory? It is as empty as my sarcophagus.
Hold it!
I'll admit you weren't in the tomb after the murder. Very good. But that very truth refutes your theory. Even if I channeled Minister Inga and entered the tomb, the moment I ceased channeling him, I would have re-emerged at the crime scene. Precisely. As you said your self-defense, Queen Amara was not there after the murder. The only living souls in the tomb at that time were Darkside Mahdi and Maya Fey. Be it in this life or the next. There is no escaping such simple truths.
Hold it!
I'm trying to think of what I could possibly present. I don't think I can present anything. I think this is just going to be one of those press everything times, and then the judge stops the testimony. There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today. A reason. Ah, perhaps. Perhaps what? Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to claim my life. What's this? She believes that he tried to kill her still. No, it's definitely not like that, Your Mercifulness. But she did run away with him. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you? After all, you two ran off together after he Thank you, Apollo. He's saying my points. That's all I need. For the game to follow my logic and answer my questions. Perfect. After he rescued you all those years ago. That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me, you must believe me. It was my duty as a wife to her husband. To bend an ear to him, was it not? So what changed your mind? Communication after disagreement is the secret to a long and happy marriage. Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Don't ask me. That is why I listened to Dirk. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. How about the fact that he didn't kill you on the spot? It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me. It's quite enough. It's abundantly clear that Queen Amara's testimony is flawless. Oh, do you understand now, lawyer? This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer. Amara shouldn't have been in the tomb after the minister's murder, but she wasn't. I don't get it. How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? Is there a hidden door somewhere? It shouldn't be possible for normal people to. For normal people. Maybe. Maybe what? Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Queen Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder. Very well, Defense, to explain. I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of. And by using this special method, it would be possible for her to literally disappear. Well, don't keep us waiting. Let's hear it. Disguise? Channeling? Again, I do think that she was in the sarcophagus. She climbed to the ceiling. She must have channeled someone, again. But who would she have channeled? Who else is dead? I really do think she hid in the sarcophagus. But they kept striking that down. So, like, he literally mentioned that. And I was like, yes, that's my point. And then she's like, no, I couldn't have hidden in there. Because everything was covered. Or everything was guarded. But that could be why Nina had disappeared for such a long time, though. Because didn't she disappear for... I don't know why I'm looking at that. Like, she vanished for a long time. So, like, if she channeled someone and left with those people, why wasn't she just Nina again? Whereas if she hid and waited out until the coast was clear... But they... The fact that they just... they said no to that right away, though, makes me hesitant to say that she hid in the sarcophagus. Fine, I'll say that she channeled someone again. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else. Why, I believe that actually makes sense. But who? What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara? Who did she channel? You believe that I, a Grand Priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder? Little bit, yeah. Whoa! What the? Eek! Mercy, your mercifulness! Oh, I do not like this woman. I thought I didn't like her sister. Yikes! Wolf in sheep's clothing over here. How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, Defense? You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution. No, good Majesty, it is quite all right. Cryanism also teaches that we must respond at all times with reason and principle. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation. You have something to counter with? Indeed. Now, are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply vanish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a deceased person to channel. However, there was only one murder victim in the tomb. Wait a second. All of the statues had distinct faces. Is the reason one of them was broken because she wanted to look like that statue and needed it not to be apparent that it was her? Or that it was channeled and it was like the same guy? Am I thinking like way out of whack here? That was Minister Inga. The only others were right there. The only others there right after his murder were Dirk and Miss Faye. Ah. Had I channeled Inga as you allege? Well, the outcome would have been quite odd, to say the least. For there beside the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared. Even if I had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the deceased minister. No, there were plenty of dead people. Like, you don't need to be next to the body to channel them. So you see, I could not have vanished by means of spirit channeling. That's true, but I can't rule it out yet. Because, well, what if there was another victim? Someone we haven't identified yet. How absurd. If you channeled someone other than Minister Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb. Another victim? Queen Amara. Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not going to like what I'm about to find out? Because we never do. The fact that he fired a gun? Is that what we're looking at?
Hold it!
What if there was another victim besides Minister Inga? What on earth could you mean? The only body found in the tomb was the minister's. Yeah, but, Amara's counter-arguments are too spot on for us to rebut. Actually, there is one possibility. What's the matter, Apollo? That's one heck of a face you're making. Oh, no, it's nothing, really. And yet, that means... I think I oh, no, wait a second. Okay, I think I know what he's driving at. I think I know what he's driving at. Because I did think about this for a moment. I was like, oh, what if this is happening? And then I'm like, no, maybe not. But that would explain... I don't know what that would explain. I think I know who the other victim is, and it's very... not great. Oh, but that does explain... Okay, I'm just gonna do it. So, I might as well share my thought process here. You guys might have the same, I don't know. I was wondering if she was channeling... I don't remember what made me first think this, so I was trying to get it, because it wasn't even when... I'm just being vague. Okay. I'm just gonna say it. Dirk. It's Dirk. She was channeling Dirk, which means that Dirk is dead. Which means that whenever he had that conversation with Apollo about him dying, I think he knew he was dead. Like, he wasn't sick. He's dead. So, and the person that Inga saw was the dead, channeled Dirk. But I don't know why I started thinking that she was channeling Dirk. But then he vanished. He said, I have to make sure that she's safe, blah, blah, blah. Vanished. And vanished just like Nana did when she channeled Minister Inga. Vanished just like Minister Inga did when he became a dead body. Oh. Anyway, I've been standing on this for too long.
Objection!
That's why Apollo's not going to like what he says. This is crazy. Right? What is going on with this woman? That she would accuse Dirk for something that she did. What is happening? I can't believe I'm presenting this. But it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones there at the scene of the crime were... No, it can't be. Dirk was unharmed because it was her. Dirk is actually harmed. And in the sarcophagus? I bet he's in the sarcophagus. Oh my gosh. Poor Apollo has been put through the ringer in both these games. My gosh. Would the defense care to share something with us? Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you? Whatever are you talking about? If you won't tell the court, then I will. Well, don't keep us waiting. This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead. But a second victim, Apollo. That's why the blood trail leads to the sarcophagus. Yeah, he was put in there. She put him in there. Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. Oh, you putrid pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice. Oh, Nayuda, I'm so sorry. Who was the other victim? I'm so sorry. There's no way this can be true. But... no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled. He knew he was dead. Dirk knew everything. But he couldn't bring himself to tell me. Was the person he was betraying Amara? He couldn't accuse the love of his life. Ugh. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
What? You can't. That's not possible. The defendant, Dirk Sadmati, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim. This is insanity. Kunka? Apollo, what are you? Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. I'm sorry, Nayuta. I don't know when nor why Dirk was murdered. The facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they've led me. I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara... But it can't be. Can it? Dirk's blood stain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? The only logical explanation is Dirk had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough. Your explanation cannot be the truth. And you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion. Somebody check that sarcophagus. Nayuta, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want it to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. And there's only one such place. You truly have proof. The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb. Go check the tomb? But why? Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here.
Take that!
If we had been able to open that, we would have seen it. You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, the killer would soon become trapped by hiding them there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means... I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence. Wait. When he was carted away, he threw the orb at us. How did... He had the orb. Did she have the orb? Did she just change clothes with it? Like, what happened? Being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it. If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation into the matter. This family. I don't understand this family. Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please. I'll start with my findings. Please, please. What are you begging for? For it to be true or false? Because I don't like either option. Please let me be wrong about this. Okay, cool. I just want things to be as they were. search of the sarcophagus revealed a body that appears to be several days old. What? Days? How long has he... Body? Detective Sky. Tell me it wasn't Dirk. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base. So he was with me when he got the orb. I don't want to see that. I have a photo of the body, and I have positively identified it as... Dirk Sunmati. You know, I was just thinking about how Apollo doesn't have, like, a defeated animation. Now he does. Or not animation, but sprite, I guess. Because Phoenix has his head in his hands. Athena had her, like, hugging herself and, like, kind of, like, closed off. Oh, Apollo. Why? Why'd this have to happen? Answer me. How can this be? Who is laughing? Oh, you jerk. The traitorous snake, the very head of the insurgency. Murdered. Oh, a joyous day. Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return to whatever rocks they crawled out from under. Who? What? What was I even fighting for? Apollo. What am I supposed to do now? Son. A lawyer. Should never look the way you do right now. A dragon never yields. Wow, that was an interesting choice to not have his voice speak this time. Makes sense, though. That's actually clever game. It's just a memory. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaw firmly into its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. But Dirk, what if the truth is that you're... Apollo in court tomorrow. You may find yourself faced with the truth that is difficult to accept. I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to You believed in me that much, Dirk? Dirk, I think I finally understand. I can't yield. Not now, not ever. Not after Dirk believed in me, despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dirk left me with 2 things I must do. Are you alright, Apollo? Sorry about that, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine now. Apollo. Detective Skye. Yes? How sure are you that the body's been there for a few days? I'm positive. No autopsy's been performed yet, but I'd say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshot wounds from a small caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death. Well, there's the person who killed him. At least 3 days, huh? That means Dirk was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States. What? That far back? Right, because they went right to Curain and right to the royal residence. So if he went... So that's how he was able to get there, because he could be anyone. He could be Nana. Because it was her, not him. And then, so if she's accusing him, or she's trying to pin it on him because he's dead, but she's the one who killed the minister because the minister killed him. I'm thinking that it was one of those kind of things. Kind of like how the high priest got wrapped up with his wife's crime. Or self-defense. Like, the wife killed, the guy in self-defense, and then the priest tried to, like, hide everything. Although he accused somebody who wasn't dead, rather than somebody who is. So she's accusing Dirk because he's already dead, so it doesn't matter. Maybe that was the point. So she doesn't still believe he was going to kill. Yeah, and then and I noticed in the picture too, the butterfly pendant that he was wearing. It was hers, not his. The fingerprint is probably Queen Amara's. Then who was channeling him? I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay in the US without arousing suspicion. Yet also had a solid cover story, so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dirk when I saw him in the States. Was it Nana? It wasn't her. It couldn't have been. It had to have been... Well, I mean, not Nana, but Amara.
Take that!
Amara was channeling him the whole time, right? No? Oh, wait a second. No. Was it Maya? The one who could go into the US. Wait! Wait. Stop. Wait. If it was Maya, then she was there the whole time. During the court case when Phoenix was backed up against a wall and his hands were tied. That... An alibi so that they wouldn't be missing. But it couldn't be the queen herself. That would be ridiculous. Why? And also, why would the queen have channeled her? No, it would have to be Maya.
Take that!
Maya. Oh, I see. But you mean the whole time she was fine? Was she not? I'm so confused. She was being held hostage at the time, so it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right, and do you remember what she said earlier? Yeah. Promised that she wouldn't say that he was dead, and that she was channeling him. Dark didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out, and that would snuff out the flames of the revolution for good. Miss Faye, Dark told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he? I guess it's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I promised not to tell. Dark made me promise before he died. So I was right then. Apollo? There's something I need to tell you. It's about, you know, Dark's final moments. Did you witness them? I'm listening, Miss Faye. What happened in his final moments? It was soon after I was kidnapped. Dark paid me a visit in that tomb where I was being held captive. I'd say it was a few days before Minister Inga's murder. Hey, young lady. Time to get you up and out of here. It's a revolutionary guy. I'm here to rescue you. You are? Why? I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag. So I started digging around. That's when I found out you'd been abducted. But why would a rebel help me? Let's go before it's too late. It already is for you, pal. Long time no see, a rebel blowhard. Inga, I know you're up to something, and I'm going to find out what. Urgh! That's got us smart. You become a real thorn in my side, see? So it's time for you to be pushing up daisies. Turk! Did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon? What the? Ah. What are you, some kind of freak? Nuts to this. Dark was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He sacrificed himself for me. These ropes! I've got to help you. Oh, that was Maya. I've got to help you! Relax. It's going to be okay. Sorry things turned out this way. It doesn't look like I have much longer. No, don't say that! You're a spirit medium, aren't you? When I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit. Stop it! Don't give up like that! If you do, Untying a rope like that will be child's play. No! Please, hang in there. You can still make it. Promise me one thing, young lady. It's about my son. Dirk was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time. So he asked me to return to the U.S. and channel his spirit. He really said that? Mm-hmm. He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years, but kept putting it off. And that this was his last chance. Dirk, I really did come to the U.S. because you wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dirk's body in the sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb. Apollo, you can't stop now. Dirk would want you to keep pressing on. I know, Miss Faye, and I won't disappoint him. In defense, if you are ready to proceed, I would first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death would impact what we know about this case? Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now. Very well. Your explanation, please. Dirk entered the tomb at 3 p.m., the time the hostage exchange was to take place. Or rather, Dirk as channeled by Miss Faye did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Minister Inga was already dead. I say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dirk in place of Miss Faye. How did she know he was dead? Oh, because she probably looked in the sarcophagus. It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Minister Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to his private quarters and channeled his spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for the hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid herself. Then when Dirk entered at 3, she snuck up from behind and forcibly drove Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body. Oh, he felt dizzy as soon as he entered. Drove his spirit out of her body. Impossible.
Objection!
Quite possible. We've seen it done. Actually, there is a way to do that. With the Magatama of Parting, that is. Using one, anyone could drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave. Are you telling me that the extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was... Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That it was... That's right, Prosecutor Submati, and you've seen one in action before. You saw how the glowing red Magatama set the High Priest back to the Twilight Realm. And how it turned to spent pale brown afterward. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb looks that way because his power had been used up in pushing Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right? I probably passed out as soon as Dirk's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long, after all. After that, Queen Amara must have dressed Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit, but we can assume she had it all planned out. Then Queen Amara must have changed into Dirk's clothes, smeared blood on them, picked up the knife, and channeled Dirk's spirit. And he woke up with a knife in his hand. That's how she made it look like Dirk had committed the crime. Whew. And that's how she escaped right under our noses. Ooh, she's sweating now. I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dirk, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? So ultimately, it was all for naught. Who was saying that? Who was saying that? Oh, it was Nayuda. Nayuda? Those dreams of revolution Dirk was always spouting. They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people. And in the end, they were simply fantasies. Nayuda, how can you... Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution has withered on the vine. Its fate sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No, Dirk's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Nayuda, don't forget that Dirk's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now the rebels and their sympathizers who have been calling for his release can't be charged with abetting the accused. So the revolution's far from over, it's only just begun. No, Dirk has yet to be proven innocent. Has not yet been proven innocent. You've merely indicated the possibility of his innocence. What do you mean? Dirk is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dirk who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet to substantively prove it. Or do you have conclusive proof that the time of Minister Inga's death was 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but... It seems further testimony will be required of me. As it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion, I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Sadmati, the rebellion must be snuffed out once and for all. You must prove Dirk Sadmati to be the foul murderer that he was. And every last insurgent and their sympathizers must be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act. As you wish, Your Eminence. Why is Nayuda doing this? Garan shouldn't have him under her thumb anymore. Amara's not a hostage, so what gives? Nayuda, what's left to chain you to her like this? Very well then, Queen Amara. Please proceed with your additional testimony. Okay, alright. Hold on, I'm recovering from that big, reveal that was just happening here. Okay, please continue. Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer with nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. Furthermore, Dirk could have committed the crime while being channeled by Miss Faye. Now, let us end this charade. For the eternal glory of Kirayin and his people. Do you understand now, you putrid pepper? There is no point in defending Dirk any longer. It has been all in vain. It has all been in vain. Let it go and move on, right? Well, not today. Your theories are but a pillar of salt that crumbles in the slightest breeze. But no more. This ends here and now. The defense may proceed with its cross-examination. Yeah, whatever, man.
Hold it!
I admit I don't have any solid evidence. Yet. You're the only one who could have committed the crime. What on earth do you mean? Including Miss Fey, there are only 3 spirit mediums in Kirain. Furthermore, when the crime scene was first discovered, Queen Garan was with me and Mr. Wright, while Miss Fey was tied up in the tomb. That means that the Dirk we saw after the minister's murder could only have been channeled by you, Queen Amara. Insolent lawyer. You forgive us, your wistfulness. Really, your majesty? But have you considered the following defense? What if there was, unbeknownst to us, another spirit medium in Kirain?
Objection!
Oh, come on! What are the chances? You lack the evidence to support your claim that Queen Amara is the killer, which is why you have had to use the process of elimination to zero in on her. It therefore stands to reason that you would have to rule out all other possibilities as well. Well, can you eliminate the possibility of another spirit medium defense? Of course I can't. Under these circumstances, Apollo, there are 2 ways to establish Amara's guilt. With either proof she killed Inga, or proof she was in the tomb. Oh, I can do that. I can prove she was in the tomb. I can prove that Queen Amara was in the tomb when the murder occurred. It seems you're ever bent on painting me as the killer. Well, if the shoe fits. Very well, let us see some evidence that proves I was at the scene of the crime. You do have some, do you not? I do.
Objection!
Queen Amara. Does this pendant look familiar to you? Why? That is. We found it in the tomb and it has the minister's blood on it, which means it was probably dropped in the course of the crime.
Objection!
And I fail to see how it is relevant to your arguments. Did that not belong to the accused? That's what I thought too. After all, Dirk had said it did himself. He said that. Yes, but it was a lie. Because I believe he was covering for someone. Covering how? For who? There's a certain piece of evidence that shows the pendant isn't Dirk's. Do I have his picture? Yes, I do. Cool.
Take that!
It's a photo of the accused body, is it not? Yes, it is. And I'd like to call your attention to a certain spot in it. This right here proves that the pendant that was found in the tomb wasn't Dirk's.
Take that!
You will notice an object near Dirk's left arm. It's an identical pendant, except it's blue. Oh, now that you mention it. Don't you find that a little strange? Why would he own 2 of them, but in different colors? Here's what I think. The pendants were meant to go together as a pair. A pair. If the blue pendant was Dirk's, then what about this pink one, with Minister Inga's blood on it? Who do you suppose it belongs to?
Objection!
Sorry to disappoint, but no fingerprints are found on the pink pendant. Therefore, we have no way of knowing to whom it belongs.
Objection!
Actually... but that's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Sunmati. I'm guessing you didn't know that this pendant is actually a locket. Come again. Now this is where it gets interesting. When we opened this locket, we found a faint fingerprint inside, on the back of the lid to be exact. What? No. So now the question is, to whom does the fingerprint belong? Queen Amara, it belongs to you, doesn't it? Oh. It seems I've truly rendered the witness speechless this time around. This cannot be. Mother, tell me, it does not belong to you. Nayuta, Think about it, Queen Amara. Dark must have realized that you were channeling his spirit, and he had probably already figured out who the minister's killer was. And yet, he still claimed that the pink pendant belonged to him. But why would he do such a thing? You really don't know? He was protecting you. Because he loved you. He loved you until his very last breath, and beyond. Dirk knew everything, even that he was being used. But he kept quiet, all for your sake. Dirk, why do you always... Well, Queen Amara? Dirk, the one whose love for you never wavered all these years. Are you going to betray him now? Dirk, This cannot be. I refuse to accept it. Queen Amara, are you ready to confess to your crime? I can deny it no longer. The truth is, it was I, Amara Sigatar Kurayin, who slew Minister Inga. That's preposterous! Why? This is beyond belief. Mother, why would you? Forgive me, Nayuta. I never wished to cause you such sorrow. But I had no choice. It was the only way. The only way. So in the end, Queen Amara and Dirk Sadmati, I suppose this means that they were unable to reconcile while he was still alive. I don't think the state of the kingdom or the incidents of the past would have allowed that. They were prisoners of their shared history, so to speak. Queen Amara, there's something I need to know. You had staged a near-perfect crime, so why did you bring this pendant into the tomb with you? You should have known it'd come back to haunt you. I do not really understand it myself. I had nearly been assassinated by my own husband, yet I could not bear any hatred toward him. I was unable to discard this or part with it for even a short time. As with Dirk, I have never stopped loving my husband for the past 23 years. Mother. So she really believes it? That Dirk tried to assassinate her? Your Majesty, is it not time? Time to declare Dirk innocent? I would ask that you do this for my beloved, who now dwells in the Twilight Realm. Very well, then. Your Eminence, Prosecutor Sadmati, if you have no further objections. This cannot be. My mother. I have no objections. Dirk, I did it. I finally did it. I proved your innocence. But at what cost? Very well, then. Being that Queen Amara yet lives, we can no longer charge the accused with the assassination that never came to fruition. And as for the murder of Minister Inga, the truth has been laid bare for all to see. Therefore, I will now pass judgment upon the accused, Mr. Darksad Mahdi. What? Your benevolence. I cannot accept this. Is something the matter, Your Benevolence? Queen Amara is lying. It makes no sense. Queen Amara would not have killed my father. What's with her all of a sudden? Is this some sort of lingering affection toward Nana? Rayfa. Speak the truth, Queen Amara. Did you really kill my father? Yes. There is no mistake. She has confessed to the crime, thereby clearing the accused of all suspicion. As such, I see no need to continue these proceedings. But Barbed Head, Hornhead, are you going to let this stand? Dark's been proven innocent, and he's about to be declared not guilty. Even so, something doesn't feel right. Apollo, if you have any doubts, now's the time to raise them. After all, the courtroom is a place for finding the whole truth. But it's up to you. There are definitely things that don't quite add up. Does this mean that the whole truth hasn't been brought to light yet? Should I push to continue this trial? For Rayfa's sake, I shall. Your Majesty, I have a feeling we haven't discovered the whole truth. And the only way we'll ever find it is to continue this trial. Hornhead. Very well, then. Will the defense please tell us this? What important fact about this case has yet to come to light? The motive? Amara's married life. The motive. She said it was the only way, and I'm like, the only way for what? Queen Amara? There's something I still don't understand. What was your motive for killing Justice Minister Inga? That is a fair question, and one that I shall now answer. It was for the future of this kingdom that I slew Inga Karkul Kurayin. To avert further tragedy, his death was an unfortunate necessity. Further tragedy? Over the past several years, Minister Inga had been rapidly expanding his power. He had established the secret police and was relentless in his pursuit of the insurgents. He even had the overwhelming support of the people. But still he was not satisfied. Hungry for more power, he began planning a coup d'etat. You mean his plot involving the Founder's Orb, which led to Maya Fey's abduction? Yes, Minister Inga planned to use the orb to gain access to great spiritual power, after which he would assassinate Garan and usurp the throne. His machinations were reminiscent of the terrible tragedy of 23 years ago. And as one affected by that incident, Amara vowed to never allow a repeat of such events. Yes, and the Holy Mother delivered unto me the perfect opportunity to fulfill my vow. Security amid the courtyard was rather light due to the rite of channeling, and Inga had barricaded himself in the tomb with his hostage, away from prying eyes. I knew I would never again have such a perfect opportunity, so... At 2 p.m., during the rite of channeling, I slipped into the tomb and slew the minister. My bracelet. Apollo. Yep. Seems this trial's far from over. Queen Amara, I believe you're still hiding something. But if you want to keep on playing this game and hide and seek, then let's start with that last statement you made. If I must. Here, I thought I wouldn't use the bracelet in court. Let's take a look at all of her. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Mm-hmm. I don't have the choice to stop. That's funny. I don't know what else I can see here. Oh.
Gotcha!
That was subtle. Wow. Especially with the shakiness of my perception of moving the stylus around. Queen Amara, you're not very comfortable talking about the 2 o'clock rite of channeling, are you? I can tell because the finger on your left hand twitched almost imperceptibly when you did. Good job, Apollo. Wow. Way to see, like, man. Oh? And that pose you make. Is there something about your chest that makes you nervous? Whatever do you mean? The murder occurred at 2 p.m., and I'm pretty positive Amara was in the tomb at that time. So then why is she so self-conscious about her chest when she talks about the rite? The rite of channeling. Didn't Albie snap a picture of it? Queen Amara, I have here a picture of the rite of channeling. It was secretly taken by a certain individual.
Objection!
Such insolence! I would have the perpetrator's name at once. Sorry, Your Majesty. Sorry, no can do. You see, I just happened to find it on the ground, so. Do you take me for a fool? How about we discuss the photo's origin a little later, because right now, there's something much more pressing at hand. I believe this photo merits further examination. I just wish there was more to see, and then the darkness and more darkness. We might be able to make out a few more details with some image adjustments. Let's ask Emma if she can help. Bailiff, please summon Detective Sky to the Hall of Justice. Ooh. Enhance! Enhance! It's time for your forensics knowledge, Emma. Aren't you so excited? Here you are. I was able to obtain a much clearer image by raising the brightness. What's that right there? An injury? No, wait. I think it's a burn scar. Wait a second. Your Eminence. You don't have a burn scar like that on your chest. She's very mad. What's going on here? If the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan, then who is it? Why, it's Queen Amara. She was burned. Queen Amara, the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan, it's you posing as her, isn't it? The two of you look quite similar, but that's no surprise considering you're sisters. Even the shape and position of your facial tattoos are almost exactly the same. And you are both capable of channeling spirits. Therefore, it would have been easy for you to impersonate Queen Garan. Queen Amara, you have a burn scar on your chest, don't you? Please remove your round mandala? Mandala? So we can see what's behind it for ourselves. Look! It's the exact same burn scar as the one in the photo. I don't understand. I knew it. So the person in this photo really is. Yes, it's Queen Amara. Oh wait, that was Phoenix talking, yeah. This is absurd. Are you suggesting they switched places? Amara's confession earlier was also false. Mother! What is the meaning of this? She was protecting her sister. Don't you see? This changes everything. We know for a fact that this photo was taken at 2 p.m. The exact time the murder took place. But that would mean Queen Amara couldn't possibly have committed the crime. Exactly. She now has an ironclad alibi, so Minister Inga's killer couldn't have been Queen Amara. I am afraid I no longer follow a defense. Was it not Queen Amara who channeled the minister and the accused to stage the crime? Yes, that fact has not changed. We have evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. And Dirk could have only been there in the tomb if she were channeling him. Which means, while Queen Amara did use spirit channeling to stage the crime, she didn't kill Minister Inga. His real killer is someone else. Fulkunka! What's going on here? Was her mercifulness covering for someone? If Queen Amara was not the killer, then who is? Isn't it obvious? Why was this rite held in the first place if Queen Garan wasn't going to perform it? Who was behind the two sisters switching places, and for what reason? The answers to these questions, along with the establishment of Queen Amara's alibi, obliterate a certain someone else's alibi. Why, is this some kind of joke? No, Your Majesty, I could never joke about something so grave. The only one who seemed to have a perfect alibi at the time of the murder was Her Eminence, Garan Sigatar Kurain. Queen Amara, didn't your sister Queen Garan ask you to pose as her and perform the rite of channeling? Aye. And didn't she also have you drive Dirk's spirit from Miss Faye's body? And then stage the crime to make it look like he was the minister's killer? And at 2 p.m. while you were performing the rite of channeling as Queen Garan, didn't she kill Minister Inga while disguised as Dirk? Well, your mercifulness? It's no use trying to hide it any longer. You need to tell us the truth now. Mother. Justice Minister's Inga's true killer is... Mother! No! Ah! I really did it! Your Eminence! My life is yours! Isn't he one of Garan's royal guards? Queen Amara! Bailiff, arrest that guardsman! Mother! Garan couldn't have... Could she? Someone call for an ambulance quickly now. What the... what? Did he just call... Did she just have a guard? Okay. Oh, man. Oh, boy. So my guess was that she had something over her head too, like how she's using Nayuta and how Inga used Dirk. I don't know. What is like Nayuta's over her head and she's over Nayuta's head or something. Plus, there's the piece that's all coming together now. It's all coming together now. I think I know the punchline at this point, of the mysterious thing that I remembered, the little piece of something that I remembered. But we are coming to the conclusion. I do not remember her getting shot in court, though. That was something. But clearly, that guard did it over the request and the behest of Queen Garan. So I can't even imagine what's going on here as far as that. Well, we'll find out, because next time is the conclusion. And I believe that that it'll all come to an end, and it'll all come together, and we'll understand everything leading up, as we always do, through the twists and turns, finally coming to a head next time. Whew. I'll talk to you guys then.